Hi, just a quick video about PizzaGate, because I found it very disturbing, the info that's come out on PizzaGate. I do think there's enough there for a proper investigation, you know, a police investigation. There should have been one right from the start, as soon as the emails were leaked, and it was obvious the connotations of what was in the email. As far as child protection directives go, if there's any suspicion, you know, any smoke, you go and check to make sure that there's no fire, because children are so vulnerable, and especially the kind of children who get trafficked. So a bit of smoke, lawfully we are duty bound to go and investigate, and it is disgusting that it wasn't investigated and it was all left to the public. And you know, I'm not a Trump supporter, I'm not a Hillary supporter either, I'm not a political supporter of any party. But, you know, David Seaman, and hats off to you, David Seaman, because you have stuck by this, and I know you've taken a lot of flack for it as well, and I do appreciate your efforts, you know, that you've tried to do. But at the end of the day, you still insist on supporting Trump, which, as I've said here, Trump is never going to investigate pedos. They got enough shite on him to lock him up for decades. Please wake up to reality, you know. And it is interesting, it has been interesting as well to witness the levels of anger and upset from people who are getting frustrated about the fact that, you know, nothing's being done. Well, maybe now all of you people can connect with how the British and global public have been feeling about Hampstead, which has been going on now for nearly 3 years, and still nothing's being done, still not one arrest. And, you know, we're not talking about leaked emails here, we're talking about leaked police video interviews, leaked, coerced, obviously coerced retractions, partial retractions. We're talking police leaked interview with father. An interviewee was allowed to walk free of any time. We're talking about fully satisfied arrest criteria that was ignored, supported by medical evidence confirming everything that both child witnesses had said had happened to them. We're talking about a mother who doesn't smoke or drink or take any drugs, who's a yoga teacher, nutritionist, is now, you know, a year later, she gets actually accused of coaching, torturing her own children and giving them cannabis to force them to repeat the terrible things those children describe to the police. And why? So she can stop access with the dad. It's completely ridiculous. Oh, and she was supposed to have, her and her boyfriend was supposed to have done that in a 2-week holiday. Right? That's what we've had to swallow. We've had to swallow witnessing over hundreds of lawfully suspected paedophiles who work in work in every single authority in central London. To just watch them walk free. We've had to witness our BBC give an empathic interview to the prime lawful suspect, the children's dad, under the heading victim of a hoax. And we've had to witness all that knowing that those 2 children are still in the care of you know, lawfully suspected local authorities. We know that the mum is still enforced exile abroad. Can't even see a 3rd son that she's got, a 3rd child, her eldest child. That the people who were supporting the mum and the children are still being prosecuted, unlawful prosecutions that always end up with the accused being completely acquitted, and yet still the judge will slap a restraining order on them. So one mention about anything to do with the case on Facebook or Twitter or on a friend's blog online, oh, suddenly you've got police at your door. You've broken your order. That's how closely the children standing up for justice are being watched by police in our country. Okay, one word on Facebook, bang, they're at your door. Yes. But they can't arrest lawful suspects. And we've had to live with that and go through 2 elections and even a referendum about leaving the EU or staying in the EU. All this shite, knowing full well that we've got baby-eating monsters who've been protected by the system. And they're running central London. And we've even got the UN Child Protection Report of 2014 that confirms, tells us exactly that. That was published 2 months before those 2 London children gave their allegations. Meanwhile, I've had to witness my friend, by the same police who ignored fully satisfied arrest criteria, can arrest my friend on a hoax phone call that was known to be a hoax from one of her children. Immediately, 5 police, she's in handcuffs, she's in cells. Next minute, she's being charged with assaulting a child. The same police who ignored, the same police station, the same police officers who ignored those children's reports. We still can't get justice. I don't make videos, okay? I don't just make videos. I have written to every single authority in the land, every child protection charity in the land, every child trafficking charity, every single child authority, even child psychiatrists, child psychologists, lawyers, solicitors, the MOJ, the Home Secretary, the Children's Commissioner. Nil results. Not one single authority on this land, even with the IPCC, has upheld the mother's complaint about the fact that fully satisfied arrest criteria wasn't acted on and crime scenes weren't investigated, and the retractions do appear to be led. But still, they're claiming that there was no crime anyway, it was false, and all that's needed now is for the authorities themselves to have an internal inquiry and a few slapped wrists. Oh, naughty boy police officer, you should have... of course the allegations weren't credible, but you still should have gone and had a look, shouldn't you? You know. Don't do it again. Naughty. And we're supposed to be satisfied with that. I'm supposed to be ecstatically happy about the fact that, you know, we've got a hung parliament. When I know for a fact that the British people, by majority, physical voters, voted for Jeremy Corbyn. Not that I trust any of these politicians anyway, but still, you know, I'll stand up for the British people's, British people's right to have their democratic choice honoured and not to witness what, again, I believe, lawfully suspect is another rigged postal vote that swung everything. You know, this is the kind of world that we're living in. And I find it difficult, David Seaman, to understand how you can support Trump and be constantly going on about PedoGate, Pizzagate. Because, you know, as far as I'm aware, this guy, he's supporting everything that keeps the whole thing going. He's supporting the very system, and the very system supporting him are exactly the same system that, you know, creates an industry out of child abuse, a multi-billion dollar global industry out of child abuse, okay? And human trafficking. And if they're not trafficking humans, they're having them employed in sweatshop factories. And, you know, how do these people get to be billionaires? It isn't by being nice and friendly and lawful, is it, when you look at them? So I don't understand how people can be... How people can support any of these politicians. that have all turned a blind eye to this. And then suddenly Donald Trump fires the FBI guy who's suddenly investigating Clinton. And even he says, I don't think he was being fair on Clinton. Why? What do the Clintons know about Donald Trump? Because they're all in it together. It's one dirty, filthy club, and we just need to wake up to it. Okay? And because how are they? It's the one thing that the one sacred thing left, isn't it? Before it was God, they all had to pretend to be upholding God, and they even turned that round, so, you know, God ends up being a devil, supporting a load of devils and giving them rights to go around killing and robbing and raping people. And the one sacred thing we have left now is the child, isn't it? Humanity still refuses to hand our children over to monsters directly. They have to do it indirectly. They have to get into power. They want freedom to enjoy without fear of arrest. Remove that fear so they can have the full pleasure knowing that they're untouchable. They are untouchable. Even the High Court of Britain could not touch them. How can it be that a High Court judge delivers a judgment that then 5 months later is thoroughly undermined and discredited by the Independent Police Complaints Commission because they upheld the mother's complaint? Why didn't the judge ask any questions then? It was supposed to be a fact-finding mission. Why didn't she ask the police, why did you not arrest suspects, lawful suspects? Why was the father never arrested? Why was there no CCTV footage examined? What happened to the children's hair samples that were sent for forensic testing for drugs? What happened to the results? How did they go missing? Yes, the public are right to be concerned because you lot have been negligent and you failed these children. No, she didn't say that. She said the public are evil and foolish. The dad is completely innocent on nothing more than his word. And the mum and the partner had tortured and abused the children and fed them cannabis so that they created a fantasy. Well, it's a lovely fantasy, isn't it? It's a fantasy for mad people. Okay, and as I say, you know, I do appreciate what you're saying, David Seaman, but we do all, if you are really serious about tackling this issue, okay, and as a survivor myself, I would ask you, seriously, wake up and get completely real about, you know, because it does come right down to the bone of what really makes us a human being, okay? And we all need to ask ourselves that. And I don't care what you say about Donald Trump, you know, why you support the man, I just don't understand. He is a liar. And he is a sex offender. And that's as far as we need to know. We need that consciousness removed from power, from politics. Abusers need to go. That's what's destroying our world. Abusers. People who disrespect human rights. Who think that they can treat people like garbage because as soon as they've got no money, you're in your car, suddenly you're garbage. Last year, you were a nice middle class family in a comfortable family home. Suddenly, you lose your job, you lose that home, now you're living in your car. Oh, now you've got no human rights. Is that how this world works? According to Mr. Trump, it is. The bankers, yes, that's how it is. Oh, you were stupid enough to get robbed, basically. You were ignorant enough, because that's what they do, they judge us ignorant. And people aren't ignorant, they're mystified. And they're slaves. And this is never going to be resolved under a political party. Okay, they just aren't, because every single political party, every politician somehow is involved in this, either directly or through ignorance, ignoring what they know. through failures to pick up on the public concerns, failures to speak out. And like I say, nobody can hear the children. And when the children do survive and grow up, you know, what do they face from society generally? Being judged for their afflictions, for the fact that they were ignored, they were left unprotected as children, and now they're damaged, now they get judged because they've got PTSD, or because they've got psychosis. Oh, they're mad. There's no love there for the victim survivors, and that is disturbing. It's disturbing that the hate outweighs the love for the children, and it is only love for our children that is going to break this lawless system that is ruling over us. And while ever it is ruling over us, no child is safe.